In today's video, we're once again heading to Birmingham for another pro wrestling training session at the outstanding Kamikaze Pro dojo, where we'll be experiencing all the slams, takedowns, and yes, I may have even stolen John Cena's most devastating submission maneuver. So without any further ado, let's get on with it. Hello my beautiful creatures, it's your Demon Queen, the Hellcat, the British Andre, the Devil's Secretary, the Duchess of the Damned, also known as Succubus. And we are once again back at the Kamikaze Pro dojo. You know, I enjoyed my last visit so much. You can see me there, just very excited to get started. But yeah, I enjoyed my last visit so much. I just knew I had to come down again. It is a fantastic facility, lovely group of people. Honestly, if you're looking to start your pro wrestling journey, then Kamikaze Pro is the place to be. Honestly, fantastic. I couldn't speak more highly of it. So if you're in the Birmingham area and you want to check these guys out, links will be below in the description. Honestly, I'd highly recommend it. They are brilliant, and you can see us here just doing a few rolls to kind of warm us up. In a moment, we're going to do some sleeps and some rolls, and a funny moment happened here, so I'm just going to let that roll. You know what, I'm gonna go ahead and say that that one was my fault. I started getting up before they had rolled over me, so that was totally my bad. It's kind of rare when you see somebody go for a sleep and it actually work, because that's actually what you're trying to do when you go for a sleep. You're trying to trip the person over, but it's kind of one of those things that's sort of been lost through time, and I don't even know if wrestling fans know that that's what you're trying to do when a person goes for a sleep. This part of the session was pretty fun for me because this is just like a minute of two people working in the ring without having to plan anything, which means like, you know, you're just pretty much making it up as you go along. And this is something that I don't really get to do very often, but it's something that I love to do. I love just getting in the ring and just being like, okay, let's just start wrestling and like see where we end up. And it's kind of interesting how it almost enables you to get really creative with your wrestling in a way that you might not have been able to do normally. And there's a really great example of that coming up, because in a moment here he's going to reverse his headlock into a headlock of his own, as displayed right there. And then I'm basically going to kind of take his arm and like kind of like almost mangle it in a way, which had a pretty interesting reaction amongst the trainees here. So I'm just going to go ahead and let that moment play for you all to enjoy.
Jeez!
So this is one of those moments where people will come up to me and they'll say like, oh wow, that was a really awesome takedown, and like, yeah, sure, you know, it was cool, but you know, to me it was cool because the person that I was working with was selling it really well. When I started maneuvering that arm and he started like selling with like his vocals and his facial expressions and kind of like trying to resist, he made that moment seem really cool, which is why in my brain I decided like, okay, well why don't we just extend this moment by doing this cool little takedown. So yeah, hats off to that guy. Here we are practicing some snap suplexes, which is something that I haven't really done for quite a while, so this was very helpful for me. You can see me just taking one right here by Phil. By the way, thank you Phil for recording many parts of this vlog. It's always very much appreciated. And right here at this part of the session, we're just practicing some wrist lock reversals and just getting like really creative and seeing like how many different wrist lock reversals we can come up with. So you can see right here, this is one that I use pretty commonly, where I kind of spin under, I clap my own hand to break the grip, and then I'll either go into a headlock or I'll just claim the head like I did right there. But this was really fun for me. It really tested my memory for how many different wrist lock reversals I actually know. So this was pretty awesome to do, and whilst I was trying to think of all these different wrist lock reversals I could do, one came into my brain that kind of involved doing like almost a leg takedown, and from that takedown I can go into a certain submission maneuver that's a very popular wrestler used by the name of John Cena, that being the SDF. So in a moment here, I'm just going to let that clip play for you all. It was a pretty cool moment, and yeah, so I'm just gonna let you guys watch that. I'm not really known for doing submission moves, but like after doing the SDF, I was just like, ooh, I could totally add this into my repertoire. Like, you know, nobody could stop me if I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna start using the SDF and people will deal with it. So I don't know, I'm thinking about that. What do you guys think? For those of you watching this video, should I just start doing the SDF? Like, what do you guys think? Let me know. So I noticed that one of the guys in the ring was practicing the sequence where they were doing all these moves and it looked really cool, and so I just asked him, I was like, hey, do you mind if I take that sequence that you just did? And that's basically what you're watching right now. It's just me taking all these moves and basically just being like a glorified crash test dummy for them to practice. And yeah, you know, it's just one of those times that I see somebody do something really cool and I'm like, oh yeah, let me just help this person by letting them practice on me. Once again, guys, if you are in or around the Birmingham area and you want to start your pro wrestling journey, then definitely check out the links in the description. And if you want to continue watching me on my wrestling journey, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you all next time.